Hi there, my name is Clinton. Welcome to Biltong Stuff, where we are basically trying to give people advice on how to build Biltong boxes. So I'll take you through some of the stuff I have here just in preparation. Dowel rod, basically to hang the meat off. I've got some quarter ends here which I use for some structural integrity on the front side. And basically I'll just go through across the top and the bottom, so I have two pieces here. Hinges for the door, magnetic catch for the door to shut, a handle for the door, and I've got panel pins here. These are 25mm panel pins which we'll assemble the box with. I've also got a set of screws which are 12mm, so 3x12, and those are basically used to fix the hinges and the magnetic catches. They're 12mm, so they will generally not penetrate through the wood. I'm using 9mm plywood over here. Then I've got some longer screws as well, about 25mm, just for those situations where I need to fix the structural support in terms of these quarter ends. I've got duct tape because I'm working on my own, so it's a very handy friend to have. I've got a hole saw, various sizes to make holes for the vents. I'm not going to do the vents and that immediately, we'll do it in the latter half of the video. I've got a battery operated drill and a power drill for basically drilling holes and doing the hole saw stuff. And I've basically got an ultra fine saw. You could use a jigsaw. I find it works very well with the plywood, so it all depends on what type of wood you're using, whether you choose to use a saw or something else. And in terms of the plywood, like I said, it's 9mm. And this is essentially, it's about 1200 by 600mm in dimensions. And the reason why I chose this particular wood is because I'm trying to avoid doing as many cuts as I can. The more cuts you have, the more opportunity for error really. So in terms of the plan, I want this box to more or less be 600 wide to give us enough hanging space for the biltong. And we're going to take it 600 high. By taking a 600 high, we can reduce the number of cuts on the next piece of wood by allowing us to basically construct it similar to this, so we reduce the number of cuts and then obviously less errors. So I'm going to go ahead and sort of measure this out, 600 high to match the wood height, 600 across, and we're going to cut a couple of pieces and I'll furnish you with those measurements as well. And then next stage we'll look at putting this back all together. Okay, so I made a little progress so far. What I've done is I've cut the wood. So you'll see here, this is actually going to be the door. And like I said, I try to reduce the cuts as much as I could. So I basically went with the thickness of the width of the wood in terms of managing my cuts. So what we have is something that is basically 605mm long and wide, which is 320 deep. And then because the wood is 9mm thick, what we've done is essentially taken off 18mm of the top piece, which will basically sit in the top like that. Okay, so it's 320 less the 9 and the 9, the 18, so it's 302. And that will give us a door which basically sits in the recess here, and everything will be flush. And you'll notice I've used one of the strut bars which are already cut just to help me as I'm working on my own. And I've already cut one of the other bars which will effectively be a support at the base, at the door entrance, and this one will be at the top at the door entrance just to give some more stability, and this is what we'll hang the meat on, basically in the middle there. Okay, I'm going to crack on and nail these more of it together, and then we'll touch base again. Okay, so we've finished the majority of the cabinet so far, and you'll see there's a small recess in here which is going to basically fit the door in. Got some flush hinges, so the door basically is going to close exactly in there. Okay, probably need a little bit of sanding, get the measurements exact, just to give it a bit of looseness. And then we can start with the vents and everything else. Here we go, hinges are on. There they are on the outside. I've used the short screws so that they don't go through the wood. Stick out the other side, although you can see they've just penetrated. You'll see the box is still a little bit wobbly, and we want to put this on feet as well, so we don't want this movement to carry on. So what we're going to do is stick these quarter rounds in here and basically put a nice big screw from either side. Screws from the top because hammering, you obviously can't hammer on the top here, and that will give us some more stability. And then once we put the rod in here as well, we'll just tie it together with some screws, and then it gives the box a lot more stability, and then it should take away all that wobbling. I'm going to go on and crack on and get the stabilizers in now. Okay, now what we've done is we've obviously put a handle on the door and put magnetic catches in over there, basically to keep the door nice and shut. And then we put the stabilizer bars in here, one at the bottom, one on the top. And it just gives it a little bit more rigidity. And like I say, when you put in the hanging bar, put a screw from either side and it'll just give it a little bit more. Okay. Basically, next steps now, I'm going to make venting holes for the sides. I haven't actually got the vents yet, I've ordered them from eBay. We're going to basically put two vents on either side, and we're going to put a fan at the top and the light on the bottom. So I'm going to crack on with that and then touch base with you again after. Okay, so we've put all the strut bars on in terms of stabilizing the box. You see there's one at the bottom here, one on the top, screwed into the top and the sides. It gives the box a lot more rigidity. And what we've done as well is we've put on some rubber feet as well, and we've drilled some holes for vents over there, which we're going to put covering insect covers on as well, and we're also going to do a hole at the top for the fan. We're going to do that a little bit later. I'm still waiting for the items to arrive. And if you look at the top here as well, put the bar in, and we've got these little collars which we put in as well just to dress it up a bit, which come from the drill outs on the side. So we've actually put a screw in either side here to hold the bar, and these are just tapped in with little nails, little panel pins. And effectively how you do that, the safe way, is just tack them onto a board, old board, with panel pins. That's a 19mm, which is suitable for my dowel rod. You drill the hole safely, pops off relatively easily. You just get a screwdriver. You can sand it up, and that collar fits on nicely in the inside. So you use those very same nails that we're tacking on before. You can just put on the collars, obviously sand it up, screw it on, nail them in just to dress it up a bit. Otherwise you can have a little bit uneven surface here, especially if your dowel rod is a little bit too short. Maybe it's cut a little bit skew. That just covers it up and makes it look really neat and tidy. And yeah, I'll wait for the stuff to arrive and then we'll finish it off.